This trade report just changed everything for the Vancouver Canucks as a recent report revealed Quinn Hughes' future with the Vancouver Canucks as Jim Rutherford continues trying to retain his franchise player heading into this year's deadline. This report has completely flipped the script for the Vancouver Canucks, and it has massive implications on the future. We're going to break down these reports on Quinn Hughes, what it means for the Vancouver Canucks, and so much more in this episode. You're not going to want to miss it, so let's just dive straight into it today. Where we know the biggest thing surrounding the Vancouver Canucks after a slow start is Quinn Hughes and his future with the team. Still having one more year after this, year 5 of 6, Quinn Hughes is the biggest question mark around the Vancouver Canucks on whether they're going to rebuild, retool, or continue contending, and we get some shocking updates surrounding Quinn Hughes and this team. Now, going back to the start of the season, going into even Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts, speaking on it, the question of signing an extension, which he'll be eligible to do on July 1st. Hughes said he'll answer with my actions next summer. He suggests how well the team performs in 25-6 will impact those actions. Now, Quinn Hughes has made it very clear that he wants to be on a competitive roster. We know the Vancouver Canucks have struggled, missing the playoffs last year, but with Quinn Hughes and his future looming on the Canucks, this completely flips the script on how the Canucks are going to navigate the rest of the season. Looking at the Canucks currently going into the game versus the Calgary Flames, we know they sit third worst in the entire National Hockey League, just ahead of the Calgary Flames and the Nashville Predators. Now listen, a lot of teams that should be playoff teams are currently not in a playoff spot, but with the Canucks continuously dropping down and down and down in the standings, this has opened a huge opportunity for other teams to start poaching Quinn Hughes, and the Canucks cannot let this continue building momentum as we go farther. Now, Quinn Hughes has an incredible start to the season, 20 points in 17 games. I don't need to sit here and tell Canucks fans on how good this player is for not only the franchise, but as a sole person on the ice. Quinn Hughes is the piece of this team, the piece that you cannot let walk, the franchise player. This is what teams build around, and with these reports that we're going to get into, completely flips everything on how this management group is going to have to look at things moving forward. Rick Dhaliwal goes out into a report to say, I do believe that they internally do think it's better to move him this year. If he doesn't want to commit to the franchise long term, maybe you get more from this year than next year at the deadline. Now, with this report coming out, if the Vancouver Canucks are truly looking at moving Quinn Hughes at this deadline compared to next, this completely flips everything for this team moving forward. You lose your best player, your best defenseman, the best defenseman in the damn NHL. Quinn Hughes being moved at deadline would completely set the Canucks back in, and the sense that they will not rebuild is going to shock even more. Now, the biggest thing is with this, Rick Dhaliwal, and shout out to him, a legend in the Vancouver media, said he do believe they're internally speaking about this. With Quinn Hughes, the biggest thing is you have a 2-year window. With the Canucks, if you want to trade him at this deadline, yes, you're going to get more value. A team gets 1.5 years before having to sign Quinn Hughes to his extension. But if you're moving on from Quinn Hughes, you can see the reports. Everything is starting to flood. James Nichols, a reporter, an insider with the New Jersey Devils, said that he could be more available than ever. This is a team that needs to figure things out right now. This is a Canucks team that had to continue pushing up the standings if they want to do this, and that kind of puts you into points of the New Jersey Devils are in such a good situation to poach Quinn Hughes. They have a lot of assets, and I would hate for him to go there, but if you're the New Jersey Devils, you're looking at Quinn Hughes, who wants to win. You have 2 out of 3 of the brothers. This is going to be hard for the Vancouver Canucks to not want him or make him look and say, hey, why am I not playing on a contender? Now, listen, I want to make it very clear, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious. I do not want Quinn off this team for any reason. If he comes out to say, hey, I will not resign here, yes, you need to move on from him, but moving on from him is a stupid thing for this management group, and I do truly believe if Patrik Allvin and Jim Rutherford even consider moving him without a verbal, I want out, both of them should and will be fired on the spot. Now, continuing, Jim Rutherford was asked a couple weeks ago, and listen, this will all be down below. No, I don't think so. I think as long as we stay the course and keep getting younger players that we feel that will play in the NHL and contribute to a team that can become a consistent playoff team and a contender, that's what we would do. Now, this was when he was asked in a Sportsnet article if trading Quinn Hughes will push this team into a rebuild. This is the Canucks management group, and we know the ownership will not let this happen. But this Canucks management group has made it very clear that the Canucks are not looking at rebuilding, retooling. They want to get young players in a roster, compete for a playoff spot, and I do agree with when you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. You can have Thatcher Demko go out and get 15 shutouts in a row. You can win a Stanley Cup, but the biggest thing with the Vancouver Canucks is you are not a contender if you're moving on from Quinn. Now, looking at the recent moves the Canucks have made, JT Miller was traded for Filip Hronek, Victor Mancini, and a first-round pick. That first was immediately flipped to the Pittsburgh Penguins in order to bring in Elias Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. This is a team that is not going to go out, make a trade for futures. If this is with the New Jersey Devils, if it's with another team, they're going to use whatever assets that they can get this year to make this team better. Looking at the Canucks, they don't have a ton of cap space. They do have their first, but they're not eager to move it. This is a team that needs to figure out a direction, and it has to happen soon. This could also push the management group to say, hey, we know our roster at the very moment with David Kampf as their second line center is not getting it done. We're going to make an irrational move to make Quinn happy, because to keep Quinn on this team, you need to be a competitive team. Do I think going into a rebuild is the thing to do? No, I truly do not. Look at the Buffalo Sabres. Yes, a lot of teams get the first overall pick and continue to succeed. We're seeing it with the Colorado Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid with the Edmonton Oilers. But when you're trying to win the lottery, you have a small odds to get it. This is the Canucks team that's not going to win the first overall. The Gary Bettman-ran NHL has really pushed it against Canadian teams. Now listen, of course, Connor McDavid, but a lot of these teams have zero luck, as this is a league that is growing within the US. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a big conspiracy, but the biggest thing is the Canucks need to figure things out. This report coming out that if they are looking internally at trading them, we're going to notice big changes. This is going to be the Vancouver Canucks making a huge trade to bring in a centerman to bolster this top six, or we're going to see slowly and slowly this team is going to get younger and younger, and I think either way it's going to show their intentions going into this year's deadline. But fans, what is your thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on the report that if it does come down to it, they're going to look internally at maybe moving Quinn Hughes, which is insane to even say at this year's deadline? What type of return would you want? Do you want to see more young players brought in? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, because listen, Canucks fans, there's a lot to like of this team. Pettersson has stepped it up. Quinn Hughes is always incredible. We're seeing the goaltenders. Kevin Lankinen has been great. But what is your thoughts on the Canucks going into this game tonight versus the Calgary Flames? We know this is game 23. They have not been showing it. Yes, you go on a hot streak, but what is your thoughts? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. But that'd be it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye for that. But I've been your host, Mark Bly, and listen, something's going to give at some point. This is going to be a team that either goes on an incredible run, wins the Stanley Cup, or the world is going to burn. We don't know what's going to happen, but take care, Canucks fans. I hope you guys